this is Tracy again, senior editor for Generation Q magazine and roving reporter for the Quilt Show, and I'm here in the Aussie aisle at Quilt Market with Lynette Anderson.
Hi, how are you today?
Very good. She handed me this beautiful koala. Why don't you tell me a little bit about it?
Well, we brought the koala with us from Australia, and she travelled quite well on the plane. We're inviting customers to come along, have their photograph taken with her, guess her name, maybe win a hamper of goodies if they guess the right name, and have their photograph taken with her. Because
adorable.
Everyone's dream when they come to Australia is to see a kangaroo and to cuddle a koala. So we thought we'd bring one.
You know, when I was little, my favorite stuffed animal was a little koala. It was about this size, and it was real fur, and it was hard.
Yeah.
Do you know the one I'm talking about?
I do know the one because I have one, but mine was only about that big.
Really? Yeah. Oh, mine was about this big.
And they had those little plastic claws.
Yes, plastic claws.
Which wore off in the end.
And you know, and I had pet bunnies, and I swore it was rabbit fur, but somehow didn't make the connection.
It could have been rabbit or maybe kangaroo. Yeah.
I didn't know that kangaroos were very soft.
They're beautiful. As are koalas.
Right. All right. So, well, tell me about your new fabric line.
Okay, my new fabric line is called Stonehouse Garden. And it's I'm not really a gardener. I don't like going outside. Dirty hands and I don't suit each other. So my garden is all stitched. So my fabric line also reflects that. It's got cute little flowers and bees and butterflies on it. And then a lot of, as always, my little coordinating prints are all little nothing prints, but they work really well together. So let me show them to you.
Okay.
So I've just tied a little bundle of the fabrics here because, as you know, we all get advance yardage, but not very much of it. So I've made these little bundles which are really cute, and we always do the little tags on the top, which are really sweet. And that just shows you how nicely graded the colours are, and that's something that I find really important in my fabrics, that they're going to all work together and blend nicely. This is my new little block of the month. I'm an embroiderer.
Very nice.
So I've been working with the Valdani threads. I love that subtle variegated look that you get. It suits my work very well. So I've got my little garden gnome. There's a flower basket. I think my favourite block actually from this one is the little garden gate with the bird.
And that's all hand stitched.
All hand stitched. But you know, I've just had a lady buy who does, she digitises patterns, and she was saying, is it okay if I have permission to digitise that for my personal use? And I said that would be perfectly acceptable. So that's actually really exciting, and I hope that she'll send me some photographs, which is nice. Now the other line that I have coming through, which is really exciting, is an extension of my bread and butter line. So we've added 18 colours. There's 6 grey, 6 cream and 6 white, so 6 different prints in 3 different colourways, and we've mixed it for butter side up. We thought that was a very appropriate name for the line. We've mixed it with some of the existing neutrals in my collection, and I think it's come out very, very effective.
I love that. That is just
I think so many modern homes, it's nice to have some neutral things, and then you can add some splashes of colour, whatever you like. So it's been very popular and great for backgrounds, of course.
So can I ask you a question? As a professional designer, how much personal sewing do you do?
Personal sewing, I always have a personal project on the go, and at the moment I'm actually very lucky. I was invited to be a designer for the Splendid Sampler, and so I've been busy joining in that fun and designing my own blocks, and I have 3 grandchildren. And so I'm on grandchild number 2's quilt at the moment. But I usually choose somebody else's design because that way I can just zone out and enjoy my sewing. You know, I don't have to think about I've got to write the instructions. I can just follow the instructions, and often I'll choose piecing rather than handwork, just because it's a little bit faster, and it gives me a change of seating. It gives me a change of feel. And my eldest granddaughter likes bright pink and bright purple, so I had fun choosing the fabrics for that.
A little bit out of your norm.
It was, and I enjoyed it. That's the scary thing.
Well, that's great. But that gives you a little break, doesn't it? A little mental break.
It does,
and changes
it was
your perspective.
Fun. It does. So that was lovely, and she loves it on her bed. So now I'm working on my second grant is a boy, and he wants trucks. So I'm looking for bright yellows and bright greens with trucks.
Very nice.
Yes. So that's fun.
Who are your favorite designers?
My favourite design, my icon is Ginny Beyer because I started that long ago, and when Ginny Beyer was really probably one of the first designers that I ever became aware of, and her palette, of course, was, for me at least, the first fabrics that I could really buy that coordinated. Although having said that, my first quilt was actually a Liberty Tarna lawn because I lived in England. Mum took me to London. We chose the Tarna lawns, which coordinated, and of course they're a dream to sew with. But
right, and back then that was I actually just interviewed Ginny for another, and so that was one of the things that I brought up was the fact that it was so hard to get fabric back then.
So I did Tarna lawn, and of course the other person in England that was quite big was Laura Ashley. And although her fabrics were not very suitable really for patchwork because they faded so badly, they again coordinated, so you can have at least a limited coordination. So when Ginny's fabrics arrived, of course it was like a quilter's dream come true. But yeah, so she would have to be my absolute favourite. And then I know so many people and I love them all as people. So Kathy Schmitz would be another one. I love her work, but she does quite a lot of embroidery as well. So I love her work too.
Oh yeah, I agree. Yeah. And I'm seeing a lot more handwork these days.
I know. Well, that's good for me because I've been incorporating it into my work for the last 20 years. So now as everyone's saying, oh, I like handwork again, it's great because they've got such a choice of patterns from my collections. That's really nice. So that's good.
Well, thank you so much for talking to us
thanks
today.
for having me, and thanks for cuddling our koala. Now,
any
you
day.
need to choose her name. I know. Is it an Aussie name or is it a quilting name?
That's
I can't tell you. I can't tell you.
Hopefully, those are hints.
Yeah.